I recently interviewed several Zibly members about their success. And as I was reflecting on those beautiful interviews, I started to synthesize in my mind a few qualities or characteristics that they had in common. And I wanted to share those with you today. And as we go through this list, I want you to take mental inventory of yourself and think, wow, where am I really excelling in these areas? And what are my opportunities for growth? And double down on both of those, right? So use this episode to hone in on how you can improve and how you can increase your chance for success. And be sure that you stay till the end because I'm saving my favorite for last, the quality or characteristic that took me the longest to identify and that I'm most excited about because I think it's the most powerful. I'm going to share with you 6 things that tell me if someone is going to be successful in losing weight and keeping it off, or if they're going to stay stuck losing and regaining the same weight again. I know how frustrating this can be because I've coached hundreds of people, especially adults over 50, to improve their health habits and lose weight in a way that is sustainable and joyful. And, it's not always easy. And I want you to have a realistic picture of what this is going to take. And honestly, the things that I'm talking about today are not superficial habits like, oh, they walked 5,000 steps a day, or they drank their water, or they got 8 hours of sleep. No, we are going deep into the internal traits, the internal characteristics that you're in full control of that will help you be more successful. So let's get started with the very first one, and that is that they had a deep why. So their why was stronger than their why not. There's always going to be things in life that can throw you off track. Like you go on vacation, or it was a holiday, or you went to a barbecue and you ate off plan. Like, so what? It happens. Life happens. But when you have a very strong why, such as I want to be an active and engaged grandparent for my kids, or I want to prevent or reverse my diabetes so that I don't lose my legs, you're going to follow through way more often. And you're going to be very determined to reach your goals and stay the course and be resilient and get back, quote unquote, on track as fast as possible. So I want you to really consider, what is my why? What is my why for getting healthy? I know my why is related to diabetes prevention. I'm a geriatric physical therapist, and so I saw a lot of end stage disease, a lot of diabetes, a lot of dementia, a lot of heart disease, a lot of obesity. And I know so much of that can be prevented through a healthy lifestyle. My why is also related to my kids. I have 3 kids, and they are the joy of my life and a wonderful husband. And we have plans. I'd love to see them grow old and be able to help take care of my grandkids. God willing, I have them. My husband and I want to travel and be really active in retirement. And so I know that that takes a lot of intention to care for myself. And then the last thing regarding my why, you're going to learn, if you don't already know, Zibly is a very deep program. We don't just do superficial habit change. We do a lot of deep mindset work. And so often people struggle with their eating habits because of relational issues or like deep personal issues. We call them wires in your brain. And so we work a lot on rewiring your brain, not just around your food or your body, but also like your love and your mood, so that you're less likely to get triggered to overeat in the first place, and it reduces your stress and all those good things. So another one of my big whys for being on this, Zivli journey is to have good relationships. There's different types of wealth in our life, right? Like there's financial wealth, there's social wealth, there's relational wealth, and spiritual wealth, and physical wealth. I think there's actually a book called The 5 Types of Wealth. I forget who wrote it, but I want to have all of them when I grow older. And so that really requires me to make wise choices now. So yeah, I want to have good relationships, I want to have good health, and I want to prevent disease. So what is your why? What is your why? Think about that. Make it very strong and make it include somebody other than yourself. Now, the second thing that people who lose weight and keep it off have in common is that they're determined and they are persistent. And come hell or high water, they are going to succeed. They don't care how long it's going to take. And it takes as long as it takes, and it takes what it takes. So they're not the type of people that are like, how fast am I going to lose weight? Or they complain about that they're not losing weight fast enough, or that they're not seeing results fast enough, because they have this growth mindset where they're focused more on their progress and how far they've come and how they've grown instead of how far they have left to go. And it can be really, really easy, especially for high achievers, to always see that gap. I love reading, you guys. I love books. There's another book called The Gap and the Gain. I don't think that each of these points in the video will have a book associated with them, but I guess the first two do. So focus on your gains and be persistent in growth and the process, and your progress will come. All right. So be determined, be persistent, be growth minded. Number 3 is they invested in themselves. And I'm not just talking about putting money down, like financial investment. I'm talking about they invested their time and their energy and their love into themselves. Personal growth is an act of love towards yourself. So it does take a lot of energy. And I really want to encourage you to remember that there are 3 currencies, okay? You have money for a currency, you have time, and you have your energy. And people who are wise, especially as they get older, realize that they can leverage their money to save time and energy. Hopefully, I mean, I know that this is not everybody's reality. I know many people live on fixed incomes. I know that prices are definitely going up these days, but hopefully, if you have a little bit of a reserve of money, you can invest some of that to get a proven plan or support or help to save you time and energy, because those become more valuable resources the older you get, right? Because naturally you have less time, and many people have less energy as they get older, but money is the one resource out of those 3 that might still be there. And so if you have the opportunity to invest money into yourself to save time and energy, that's wise. And that's something that most people who lose weight and keep it off do, is they spend money on healthier food. They spend money maybe on a gym membership or gym equipment. They might spend money on a program like Zivly to give them some clear direction and save them from going down all the Google rabbit holes and being frustrated by trying to learn different information from different people who have conflicting advice and all the things. So that's really one of the reasons I created Zivly, was to save you a lot of time and energy and just give you a very clear roadmap on what works and what the evidence says. So that's number 3, they invest in themselves. Number 4, people who are successful in long-term weight loss aren't doing it alone. That is like one of the number 1 things when we do an exit survey for people who don't join Zivly. We said, well, why didn't you join? And they say, I wanted to try it on my own. And I get it, because I'm like that, honestly. But again, I'm younger, and so I have a little bit more time and energy to spend to try to figure things out on my own. But the older I get, the wiser I am about just asking for some dang help and being in community with people and understanding that in order to change, you need help, you need support, you need love, you need nourishment, you need community. So the people that were most successful were a part of the Zivly community. They were contributing in a positive way during coaching calls, both by being vulnerable and getting coached, and then also by being supportive and encouraging to other members who were being coached. Maybe they put something encouraging in the chat, something like that. So a lot of these members had accountability partners, or they were in a group of people who were on the same journey as them. And that's really important, because a lot of times when we're isolated, it's very easy to fall back into old habits, to fall back into old thought patterns. But when you're part of a community and when you have external accountability and support, you can lean into that. I'm learning more about something called emotional brain training, or EBT. We're actually bringing this into our Zivly program. And the research strongly shows that the emotional brain, which is responsible for all of your self-sabotaging behaviors, changes with support. It changes with connection. It changes when it's challenged. And when you're just trying to go at it on your own, unfortunately, that level of challenge is often not high enough. you're not getting outside of your comfort zone, your emotional brain isn't really changing. And so unfortunately, you might see some progress on your own, but in order to really take it to the next level or to be consistent, often it does take a little bit of external support or stimulus for that to happen. So the emotional brain needs support. And that is why people who participate in some sort of community along their weight loss or maintenance journey are more successful, because it literally changes your brain in a positive way. Number 5, they had accountability. So they had a high level of personal integrity and accountability to themselves, but also, like I just mentioned, they were part of a community or a support group, or they had an accountability partner, something like that. And they tracked their behavior. So tracking your behavior is one way to be held accountable, whether that's how many steps they got in a day, or how much water they drank, or how much sleep they were getting, or tracking your food. Like tracking your food, as much as people hate it sometimes, is actually proven in the research to help you lose weight. So some way, shape, or form, they were holding themselves accountable and they were receiving external accountability too. All right, this last one is the most important, and it's that they realized they were a victim. You know, many people have that victim mentality. They're blaming their schedules. They're blaming their spouse or their partner who just likes to sit on the couch and eat potato chips and eat ice cream at night. And oh, they're sabotaging me. I don't have time to be healthy or make healthy food because I have to work and I have such a demanding job. And I don't have time to exercise in the morning because I don't sleep well at night. I mean, they're a victim to their life that they created. And so they finally realize, wow, I am a victim, but it's to myself. It's to my own thoughts. It's not to anybody outside of me. I am the prisoner of my own mind. And I am also the prison guard with the key to let myself free. So people who are successful in losing weight and keeping it off take radical personal responsibility for their thoughts. And they do whatever is necessary to change them, to change whatever thoughts are holding them back to thoughts that are productive. And we teach you how to do this inside of our program. And it is one of the most beautiful things to start to feel empowered, to start to feel hopeful, that you don't have to stay stuck in these moods or stuck in these habits, and that it really does start in the mind. And so, yes, you are a victim. You're right. You're just not a victim to anything external that you may have been blaming about, like time, resources, scheduling, other responsibilities. Take personal responsibility for the life that you've created. And the good news is the life that you're going to create. So once you take that responsibility for your existing circumstances, you realize, wow, hey, I've created what I have so far. That's great news, because I have the power to create what I want. And I'm going to be more intentional about what I'm creating moving forward. The other thing that happens when you stop blaming external things, when you stop playing the victim in your own life, is you can release control. Because I think a lot of times people are trying to control other people, other circumstances, their environment, because they don't know how to control themselves. They don't know how to control their own thoughts and their own reactions. So they try to control everything else around them. And then they blame everything else around them when things go wrong. So when you really, really learn how to master your thoughts and rewire your brain for the better, it is incredible what personal power you regain and how much easier it is to change your habits. It doesn't feel like you're white knuckling it anymore. It feels like you're almost like releasing weight instead of forcing your body to hit a lower number on the scale. Like you're joyfully releasing weight, you're joyfully changing your habits, and you're really helping reduce your brain's stress set point. So it's a very fun process. It is a process. It is a skill to be able to rewire your brain, and it is my favorite thing in the world to help people do. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm going to recap those 6 things one more time so that you can take that mental inventory and say, where am I really strong? Where do I have room to grow? So the first one is keep your eye on your why. Have a really, really strong why for why you want to lose weight and get healthy. The second is stay persistent, stay determined. I don't care if you tried like everything so far to lose weight. I like the analogy of, well, did you date other people before you got married? Did you go on some dates with, people that didn't work out? And well, yeah, I did. Well, good. Now you know what you like and what you don't like and what works and what doesn't work. And you're more ready for that next relationship. You're more ready for that next step in your health journey. So even if you feel like you've tried everything, stay persistent, stay determined. Do not give up on yourself. The third trait is they invested in themselves. They invested their money, their time, and their energy. They invested it now. They're investing their money, time, and energy now so that they can save money, time, and energy in the future. Because remember, there's sacrifice either way. You can either spend it now and have a higher quality of life later, or you can save your money, time, and energy now and spend it later being sick, spending it on doctors, spending it on medications, spending it on a lift chair, spending it on a walker, like all of these assistive devices that I help people learn how to use in physical therapy. You're spending your money on being sick. You're spending your energy on being sick, and you're wasting your time being sick, okay? So my hope is that you spend your time, energy, and money proactively now so that you can give yourself the highest quality of life for as long as possible. The next thing is they did not try to do it alone. They realized like, wow, if I could have done it alone, I would have done it by now. I need help. So they accepted help and they got plugged in to a community of people who were on the same journey as them. The next thing is they had accountability. They either had an accountability buddy or they had a lot of personal accountability and self-integrity and tracked their behavior or their key behaviors, whatever they were focused on at the time. So some sort of external accountability is really, really helpful when you're trying to change your habits. And the last and most important thing is they took radical personal responsibility for their thoughts and they prioritized their mindset work and they did their morning mindset routine. They are rewiring their brains. They are so focused on the internal affecting the external, right? Like we want to change from the inside out because you're never going to be able to control people around you. You're never going to be in full control of anything outside of you. So let's control what we can. Let's control our thoughts. Let's control our attitude. Let's control our perspective. Let's control our effort. Let's control our attention. Those are the things that we can control. And those are the things that will move the needle when we do control and take personal responsibility for those aspects in our lives. One final reminder, remember that success does not come overnight. Nothing good does. And it doesn't come with perfection. Having an all or nothing perfectionistic mindset just leads to overwhelm and feelings of shame or guilt or being not good enough. That is not productive. So as you continue down this health journey, I want you to think progress, not perfection. Progress, not perfection. That can be your mantra because when you're focusing on progress and not perfection, you're going to see so many more little wins along the way. And that's going to bring you so much more joy and make the entire journey of getting healthy and being healthy so much more fun. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and register for my free upcoming live training called 3 Big Mistakes That Sabotage Weight Loss After 50. This is deep stuff, not surface level, not something that you're just going to learn on Google. So I'll save you a lot of time and a lot of effort. Just come to the training live. There's a link in the description below to register today.